This is AI.R. Artists in Residence Broadcasting, coming to you once a week from New York City.
Okay, here's the subject, John.
Okay.
This is a tricky subject, but I've heard you express something that it's a little dangerous. What do you think about bringing up kids nowadays? What do you think about discipline, about stern parents, about tough love, gentle love? What do you think kids need today that perhaps they didn't need when our son was growing up?
Well, I can only think about what I didn't do with JD and what I think I would do if I had it to do over again. And that is to not necessarily discipline, but to give him some framework, like a discipline in the sense of making him earn his way. You know, giving him jobs and things that he could do, and then giving him a reward for them, because he never really learned how to value work in order to achieve something that would give him a reward. And if I could do that, if I would be more of a disciplinarian in the sense of making him do jobs so that I could reward him and he could see the reason for doing things.
Do you think that children need to be given more household jobs, more things that function within the family that the family needs?
Well, it's a combination of things. You should try. I would think you should try to find out what interests the kid. But it doesn't really make much difference if you express interest in what he's doing and praise him for the things that he accomplishes, rather than pushing him to do things, but just giving him encouragement about things that he likes to do, so that and then pushing him to do more of a job. Give him assignments that he can accomplish and therefore get some sense of satisfaction from. I didn't do that with JD.
What about discipline? Do you think that more discipline is important these days?
I think
if we had to deal now, what about drugs? What about keeping a child away from liquor, drugs, premature sexual experiences? What would you do on any of those subjects?
I don't think that my own feeling is that you don't need to concentrate on these. What you need to do is to concentrate on communication with the kid. I didn't talk to my son enough. I didn't talk to my child. I didn't try to find out what was going on with him, and I didn't try to tell him what I believe. And the discipline is only good if he sees that it is something that you do yourself, that you try to, like, for instance, you don't tell a kid that he should comb his hair unless he sees that you comb your hair. You don't tell him to wash his hands unless he sees that you're washing his hands.
So you're saying you needed to set more of example.
Yes.
What about religion?
Religion, I think...
that was complicated in our family because I was not a churchgoer, and John, by marrying me, kind of politely... No, before we married, you really were no longer a churchgoer. Should we have tried to help our son more with church going?
I think probably it wouldn't have been a bad idea, but I don't think it would have worked in our family because you would not have participated at all.
Oh, well, who knows? I might have. We're all capable of changes. I'm just curious to know, what we're saying is setting an example,
yes,
communicating.
That's right.
Real sharing, not just telling, but by saying, I'm doing this, so you do this with me.
Right. Or even, we're talking about religion. What I didn't express to JD is my desire to find out what it's about, not church going, but what is my relationship to a God, if a God exists? Or what is my relationship to the concept of God?
Well, it's interesting.
And the things that make me concerned and doubtful are the things that I wish I'd talked to him so that we could have conversed over it, so he would know that I was searching and have been since.
Well, that's about all we can talk about right now, but I appreciate your input. I've heard you say that you felt that kids could use more discipline, and I think what you meant was more communication.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome. Join us again next week. Till then, we'll see you. This is AI.R. See you next week.